According to the Florida Panthers president, Matt Caldwell, who was in on the conference call, the owners are thinking about opening it up at 4 or 5 neutral sites with limited or no fans.
Right.
So that's what they're thinking. Now, this isn't a new idea, but when you're talking about 4 or 5 different sites, see, because baseball was talking about Arizona and Florida and maybe another site.
Maybe Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
But now hockey's thinking about 4 or 5 sites.
Okay.
Based on this conference call with the GMs and the owners today.
And they play multiple games probably at each site
Again,
each day.
all the specifics haven't been ironed out, but at least they're still thinking about it. Now, we haven't heard anything lately from the NBA, but this is the very latest. And according to a conference call today, and Florida Panther, the president, Matt Caldwell. You have to say Panther.
Yeah.
If you're French Canadian,
right.
You can't say the Panthers. It's the Florida Panther. It's the Canadien. You know what I'm saying?
Or les habitants.
Les habitants.
Now, I was looking here. Okay, most of the teams have played anywhere from 69 to 71 games.
Yeah,
so
they
there's
only have
like 10 or 12 regular season games per team.
And they can play those every day because, hockey in preseason they play like 15 games and then they get started.
Right.
So that hockey, when their training camp starts, as you know, Harry, they go in and work out for a couple days and they start playing games immediately.
Yeah.
And that's how they get in game shape. They don't just sit down and do calisthenics.
Right.
They get into action right away, which is what we like.
Yeah, the last thing we heard from the NBA, Tone, was this 25-day plan that they had where they said it was going to be something like 11 days of conditioning and then sort of like 14 days of playing sort of almost like preseason games again, just to sort of get up to speed. Because you can't just restart the NBA season tomorrow.
No, and
if you had sites, you got to get the guys in shape again.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that that's going to happen. And you would assume that these players are working out on their own. I know it's not game situations. For example, I saw a story yesterday, with some of the players that, we're ready. Some of the guys were injured when the season stopped.
Right.
Like Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons now apparently is healthy enough to play again because remember, he was shut down for a while.
Well, he had a back issue, didn't he?
Yeah, remember, and he couldn't play.
Yeah.
And so now they're saying, well, Ben Simmons is ready, and he's ready to go, and he'll be healthy if they restart the season. So that's good. I don't know if he's been working on a shot in a gym somewhere. But, these guys aren't going to shut it down and get fat. You would, and if they do, and if there are players who aren't taking this seriously and not trying to stay in any kind of like aerobic conditioning and stuff, obviously you can't play games.
Right.
But you can take care of yourself. And these guys all have a lot of money and presumably have a gym in their home, or a Stairmaster or whatever. Or even a basketball court a lot of these players have. So there should be no excuse for any of these professional athletes who are not coming back at least ready to start practicing again and get in game shape.
Right, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the good news. Now, and we also mentioned about the NBA. The NBA's advantage is, even if they start in July, like the NHL wants to do, and they finish it in August, they don't have to start the season again until December. So because they have to have 3 months, I think the contract says the CBA they have to have 3 months off after the season ends.
Okay.
Now I don't know if there's any clause where because they didn't have the time off that that doesn't count because they've already had a couple of months off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, doesn't the Stanley Cup playoffs usually takes 2 months in itself?
Exactly. No, they're going to have to condense it.
Yeah.
They're going to have to condense it, and the problem is you can't. The thing about hockey. I mean, they play every night. They play back-to-backs, but they're pretty tough. So if you play back-to-backs and you're in the same building, that's not going to be as bad as like playing a back game in Toronto.
And taking a 3-hour plane trip or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they can do that. And I like this. How out of shape will Joel Embiid be? 610.
That's the first guy I think of.
Well, as soon as they announce it, let me give you the rundown of what local sport all over the place. What the NBA season is going to start on such and such a date. How bad will so and so be in shape? Will so and so be in game shape?
Right.
Will Ben Simmons have worked on his shot? Let's open the phone lines.
How much weight has Joel Embiid gained?
Has he stopped eating junk food during this lockdown that's been going on for a couple of months? So anyway, that's good.
Yeah.
And